Welcome back to Ben 10,000 of YGO. I know you're probably wondering how the hell you ended up over here. Alright. Anyway, today's video will be, as you can see by the screen, top 5 decks that Bandit Keith would play. This is an ongoing part of my series of what would they play. And the idea of this series is to take characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animation and discuss decks that I think they would play if they existed in our world. So, you're probably going to hear the sipping of my coffee here because I am a avid caffeine addict. Just waiting for my heart to explode at any moment. Alright, so I guess let's get started with the first deck. As you guys know, probably, I always go for the obvious deck first, and then as we go further on, we will get to something a little less obvious. So, boom! Barrel Dragons! Obviously, if Bandit Keith was in our world, he would be just rearing and ready and excited for the Barrel Dragon support that is coming out soon. Or may already be out at the time of this video. I am not sure. But the Barrel Dragon has a few different forms. Like, for example, you got Gatling Dragon, Blowback, Twin Barrel, Regular Barrel Dragon, Toon Barrel Dragon, and now, as you can see, the card that is in Japanese, Desperado Barrel Dragon. Which, this card is kinda insane. He is definitely a better version than the original Barrel Dragon. I mean, if you guys have been paying attention to my videos, I did a deck profile over this one recently. I will make sure that is in the end cards below, or at the end of the video. I speak English, I swear! The Desperado Dragon, if a Dark Machine is destroyed, he just, out I come! Haha, you killed the tiny Dark Machine, now be prepared to fight the big Dark Machine. And then, of course, during the battle phase, he can use his effect, you flip 3 coins, and however many heads you get a, to destroy a card on the field. So, that's really cool, and up to the number of heads. So, that's a really neat little trick. And then also, if the Barrel Dragon gets destroyed, he gets to search out a machine that requires a coin flip in its card effect. Which is really neat because that means you can get the original Barrel Dragon, you would get the Twin Barrel, Blowback if you're playing it. I only played the Twin Barrel and the Desperado, but that's just because the Twin Barrel happened to be a Dark Machine and was searchable off of Desperado's effect. The whole point is this is the most likely deck that Bandit Keith would play, because the obvious ones are usually the most likely. Alright, deck number 2 is Cle Board. The reason why I think Bandit Keith would play this deck is because well, back in the day, I don't know what he's called, Towers, Cle Board Towers, was this big, invincible machine. And if Bandit Keith is known for anything, he is an avid cheater. So, I think that if he existed in our world, he probably wouldn't be allowed at any YCSs because he keeps finding ways to get towers into his deck. If he's playing it. Or cheating in some other fashion. He'd get caught cheating. Get banned. Let's see here. Deck number 3. This is one that I also think that he would play, is Machina, because they are very much like, they appear like a very militaristic archetype, and, I don't know. What is it about robots and guns that just seem to go together? Whether it's like a laser gun from, like, the future, or, current type of missile launcher, or, you know what I mean, or just a regular gun or whatever, or tank, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is full of these kinds of monsters, and it just is fitting. I mean, we Americans are kind of notorious for being the country who has the most weapons. So it makes sense that an American duelist would probably, who is obsessed with machines, would probably play a deck that reminds him of his homeland. Number 4. Now this one's a little bit of a stretch, and this is the FAs. They are a machine archetype. I don't know what FA stands for. You know what I mean? Something acceleration, I'm sure. Forward accelerator, maybe? I don't know. But the idea here is the FAs are all based on like motocross type sports, so they're all about racing. Which actually is kind of funny to me because you would think they'd be more of like a 5Ds type of archetype because, you know, that was card games on motorcycles. But I digress. The idea of this one was that they are a machine-based archetype, and Bandit Keith is just known for his machines. He has an obsession with robots and cannons and I guess gambling to a point when you look at the slot machine and the way the barrel dragon works. The guy kind of is like an evil Joey Wheeler. He's got an obsession with a particular type of monster, and then he's got a bit of a gambling problem. So, yeah. Bandit Keith is evil Joey, more or less. But the FAs are based off of like our racing type sports, and we have several types of them. And I think that I wouldn't even be shocked if they were like, if they release more X game type sports in the future for this type of archetype. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they came out with one that was a skateboarder or something. I mean, who knows what the future holds with that. Yeah. Alright, now the last one, as you guys know, I always do a deck that is a curveball deck. This is always one that I throw out there that the character never played. It doesn't actually fit into something that is more of their play style, or maybe something. It might have something to do with their personality. It might have something to do with, like I said, their play style. You know what I mean? Like if there's a real life deck that is actually better at doing what their play style is than the deck they played in the show, then I'm gonna feature it. But that deck is the Rocket archetype. Now, the reason why this one is a bit of a stretch is because, despite their appearance, they're not machines. They're dragons. The Rocket archetype is full of these dragons who seem to be either made of machinery or are wearing it as armor. So they're like dragons with like missile launchers, which I don't even know if that might be more intimidating than just your standard dragon. At least I would think so. I mean, blue eyes equals scary. Now blue eyes with rocket on its back, you know, like, oh look, it came with bazookas too. Yeah, you would hear me scream like a high-pitched woman, and then there'd be a puff of smoke where I was standing, because I'd be out of there. Just, ah! Gone. You guys would be like, damn, I didn't know that short, fat dude could move that quick. Jesus. Just gonna see a blur and a puff of smoke where I was standing, because I'd be gone. But the Rocket archetype very much seems like something Bandit Keith would do. It has a very powerful boss monster. The boss monster, I don't even remember its name off the top of my head right now, but the Link monster, it's pictured here as you can see it. It was in the new set that came out, and it's like a $30 card at the point of this making this video. At least on the last market watch I watched from House of Champs, it was like a $30 card, and you know, it's a meta competitive card. Now maybe the archetype itself may not be, but that's okay. We're not really discussing whether these archetypes are particularly good or not. We're just discussing on whether a duelist from the show would play them or not. And I totally think that this is a deck that Bandit Keith would play. He is I don't know how to put it. He's a cheat, and this deck doesn't really cheat, but it is like, you know what I mean? These guys look like machines. They've got some competitively viable cards. But there you go. This is my top 5 decks that I think Bandit Keith would play if he was a real person. And just to go over real quick, Rockets, FA, Machina, Cle Board, and Barrel Dragon being the most likely one. At least when he finally got it over here, because if Bandit Keith was a real person, he'd be sitting here complaining about, I don't have my Barrel Dragon yet. Ah, this sucks. I'm just going to go to the bar and drink and pick fights with teenagers. I don't know, because he's kind of a douche. But he's an interesting character, but he's a douchebag. um, the idea of this whole series is to give you this, to make these characters seem more real for you. So if you're looking for archetypes that you think fit with the characters you know and love, well, guess what? I have just, keep coming back to this series, and I'll eventually get to your favorite character. Uh, just a little heads up, I do have an order to it, so I'm doing all of Yu-Gi-Oh first. Then I will go to GX 5Ds. I'm going in order. So if your favorite character happens to be someone that isn't in the main Yu-Gi-Oh thing, just be patient. I will eventually get to it. Because I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm here for life. um, if you do have a favorite character in the Yu-Gi-Oh series that you would like to see that I haven't done already, please leave that in a comment below. I will definitely prioritize your favorite characters in the main Yu-Gi-Oh series above where I was going to go next. And I think that's all I can got. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you come back for future videos. I'm Ben 10,000 of YGO, and I'll see you guys later. Peace, guys.